Hey, remember how Donald Trump was supposed to bring down egg prices? Yeah.
So Donald Trump is now begging Denmark, the country he has repeatedly threatened to invade, if they can help him by sparing any extra eggs they have in order to combat the egg shortage here in America. And it doesn't seem like his request is going to end very well for him. So according to the Danish Egg Association, they have received several letters from Donald Trump's Department of Agriculture requesting that they export any surplus of eggs they have to the States in order to offset the skyrocketing prices here in America. Now, keep in mind, this request comes after Donald Trump has threatened to sanction Denmark unless they cede control of Greenland to America. And it comes after Trump, during his State of the Union address, said that America would eventually annex Greenland, despite Greenland being an autonomous territory of Denmark. And now, with his hat in hand and tail between his legs, Donald Trump is asking them for eggs. That
make this shit up.
And here is what the Danish Egg Association said in response to this request. Quote, they would look into it, but that there was no surplus of eggs in Europe. In other words, you're not getting your eggs, Donald, and you're not getting Greenland either.
Denmark is being stingy with its eggs. Literally, Denmark said, whatever you talked about us when you were doing your little campaigns, when you were becoming president, we took that to heart. Now you want us to give you eggs? We are sorry.
Okay, so you really can't make this stuff up. After threatening all these world leaders, Donald Trump is now begging them to send the United States eggs to try to bail him out as prices continue to skyrocket. Check out this article in Reuters. How many eggs can you send? U.S. asks countries to help lower soaring prices. The United States has reached out to Denmark and other European nations asking if they could export eggs as Americans face surging egg prices, the Nordic Countries Egg Association said on Friday. The request from the U.S. Department of Agriculture coincides with a raft of new U.S. tariffs on countries, including in Europe, and the threat of more. Donald Trump has also threatened economic sanctions unless Denmark hands over control of Greenland to the United States. So on the one hand, Donald Trump is threatening Denmark that he's going to annex Greenland. On the other hand, he is begging them to send him eggs. So pathetic. Here's some more, quote, we're still waiting to get more guidance from Washington on next steps, but do you have an estimate of the number of eggs that could be supplied to the United States, assuming they meet all the import requirements, a follow-up letter to the Danish Egg Association in early March said. Quote, Washington is trying to get an estimate of the amount they could feasibly source, said the letter received last week. The Danish Egg Association said they would look into it, but that there is no surplus of eggs in Europe. Quote, there's a shortage of eggs everywhere on a global scale because consumption is increasing and many are affected by bird flu, he added. The spokesperson said they had requested more details on the conditions of such an agreement, highlighting that egg exports to the U.S. were challenging due to regulations related to hygiene and other factors.
Joe Biden ruined the price of eggs in this country, but don't worry, folks, we have a plan. Next month is Easter, as you all know. And who do we know that comes around on Easter and lays a bunch of eggs everywhere? That's right, folks, the Easter Bunny. We are going to capture the Easter Bunny and force him to lay eggs for the American people. We're going to have so many eggs, folks. The price of eggs will go down tremendously because he will be laying so many eggs. You'll have more than you could ever want, more than you could ever need.
Trump is out here trashing our allies, but behind the scenes, he's begging them for eggs. Yeah, eggs. The convict talks his tough talk on the world stage, threatening allies, slapping tariffs on Europe, even trolling about taking Greenland. But guess what? Behind closed doors, his team is begging countries like Denmark to send eggs to the U.S. because prices are like sky high. He promised cheaper eggs during his campaign, and he just said yesterday that egg prices were falling because of me. But you know what? They're up by 59%. He mocks Denmark. Now he needs their help. But why would these countries help the convict after he trashes them all? The convict has some serious mental and behavioral deficits, which nobody talks about, and that should disqualify him from serving as president. Would you ever be in a relationship with someone who acts like that, Orange Baboon? Canada flat out rejected any U.S. takeover talk. Australia is calling his trade demands ridiculous. In Europe, leaders are dealing with Ukraine while the convict spreads Putin's propaganda. The guy who brags about winning is out here begging for breakfast food. But hey, maybe that's the real art of the deal. Let's just depose and dispose of this village idiot, can we, now?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, man.
You got it?
Yeah.
Money. There you go.
Hey, thanks.
You good?
Oh, yeah. They fresh?
Fresh this morning.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, do you got any more, bro?
You gotta let me know ahead of time. You got more money?
No, I got any. I'll get you next time.
Yeah. Put it on your tab.
Thanks. Thank you, man.
You gotta let me know ahead of time.
I know. Thanks, man.
Bye.
Definitely no eggs in Canada. I agree. There's nothing to see here. We have no eggs. We're not sharing any eggs. No eggs in Canada.
Players, come and look at this. Come and look at this. I know. I just know you effing lying. So USA has asked Denmark for help with the egg crisis. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. This comes after Frumpy Dump has threatened them people with tariffs if they don't let him get Greenland. Baby, this is ridiculous. Y'all grab your tea and have a seat because the Guardian done got a copy of the letter. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all seen the MAGA influencers and Frumpy to the motherfucking dump scurrying all around Annalise Keaton's internet, decreeing and declaring that the egg prices have decreased. Now, I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with your players. Double D don't have to buy eggs. My neighbor has chickens and they give me free eggs every single week. However, I do check out those prices when I go grocery shopping, and them egg prices have not decreased. And according to reporting, the prices of eggs have increased 59% on a year-on-year basis in February, which was the first full month of Frumpy Dump's administration. Those egg prices have not decreased. Now, we know that MAGA is now decreeing and declaring that they don't give a shit about egg prices, despite the fact that that was one of the biggest reasons why they voted for Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. Now, the lie detector has determined that MAGA is once again lying. Be that as it may, honey, it looks like the Frumpy Dump administration is trying to do something about it by asking for eggs from Denmark. There was a letter that was reviewed, and it showed that a representative of the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Europe had sent formal inquiries to egg-producing countries in late February seeking information on their ability and willingness to export eggs to the American market. The letter was sent to the Danish Egg Association in early March, and it said, and I quote, "We're still waiting to get more guidance from Washington on next steps, but do you have an estimate of the number of eggs that could be supplied to the United States, assuming they meet our import requirements?" Now, the Danish Egg Association responded and said it would look into it, but there was no surplus of eggs in Europe. There's a shortage of eggs everywhere on a global scale because of the consumption is increasing and many are affected by bird flu. Now, a spokesperson for the association said it had requested more details on the conditions of such agreement, highlighting that egg exports to the U.S. were challenging due to regulations related to hygiene and other factors. This is crazy work, considering the fact that Frumpy Dump has threatened sanctions unless Denmark hand over control of Greenland to the U.S. And now you begging them people for eggs that they don't have.
Donald Trump is now begging them to send the United States eggs to try to bail them out.
Not happening.
So we have some breaking news as Donald Trump reportedly tries to solve America's egg shortage by begging multiple countries for eggs, including Denmark of all places. That's right, despite threatening to sanction and invade Greenland, Denmark's territory, multiple times, Donald Trump is reportedly begging Denmark to send America eggs. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has already contacted Denmark and several other European countries, begging them to ramp up egg exports. I guess somebody should have told Donald Trump not to bite the hand that you're gonna ask to feed you, huh? I mean, come on, the audacity of this man to be like,
I know I threatened to invade you multiple times, but won't you please send my country some eggs?
I hope that Denmark and all of these other countries tell Donald Trump and his supporters to pound sand. Because this is what we meant when we said that America needs allies while MAGA celebrated Donald Trump alienating all of them. But despite America apparently not needing allies, here Donald Trump is already begging other countries to feed his own citizens. But hey, maybe if we beg other countries for eggs long enough, we'll finally be great again.